So today I'm in the Church of St John the Evangelist in Little Leigh, and I'd like to talk about the wooden effigy which stands here. What do we know of St John the Evangelist Church is that it was connected to the Little Leigh Priory under 2 miles away. The priory was founded by the Augustinian canons at the end of the 12th century and dedicated to the Virgin Mary and St John the Evangelist. The tomb and effigy were first recorded by an Essex soldier and antiquary, Richard Simmons, who visited here where I stand on the 24th of July 1640. And Richard said, "In the north wall, within an arch, lies the portraiture of a man cutting wood. At his feet lie 2 dogs. The arches are adorned with oaken branches, sans semblance of arms. It is most like to be to the form of a priest." Now 78 years later, in 1718, a Samuel Dale of Braintree in Essex, who was a physician and chemist, and he wrote a letter. "In this church is neither inscription nor coat of arms. The only monument here is in the north wall of the chancel, where an arch lieth the effigies of one of the priors of the monastery, but who he was is not known, there being neither an inscription nor arms to assist." Now, the importance of the man and the location are described well by Reverend Sparrell in 1895, who said, "To put the effigy in context, the tomb recess in which it lies is in the most sought-after burial place in the church, that is, within the north wall, close to the east wall." So we shall have a look now at the tomb in question. So we're now we're going from the nave into the chancel. And directly in front of us is the north wall. And here is the east wall with the high altar area. So the tomb itself, let me go back a bit and we can see from a distance. So the tomb itself consists of a projected arched recess measuring 6.5 feet wide and 2 feet deep. And the recess projects 1 foot into the cemetery outside. Now the arch is 6 feet high. It's decorated in beautifully worked foliage. The head of the east side being that of a man, and the west side a lion or possibly a devil's mask. It's filled with oak leaves and acorns, and the date suggests around 1300. So we have a closer look at that. So if you follow the arch around, this is obviously the devil's side of it. And there you can follow the carvings all the way round. You can see the acorns there. And the branches, there's more acorns. It's most decorative, and even on the outside. In a larger scale, there's some more up there. So the original background, which would have been in here, would have been painted in religious images. And it's long since been whitewashed over. Now, the human face has been described as that of the Green Man, which is so little is understood. And the representation may be the conflict between good and evil. Now, did the mason have free rein, or was it the commissioner's design? We just don't know. Now, inside the tomb itself, there is some graffiti, which you can just about see here. And I found another one here. Same pattern. And here, just about see that. Now, we're not sure if this is the part of the mason's mark from the 14th century, but it could well be. Now, originally the effigy would have rested on the floor. And it is a life-size effigy. It's carved in oak. And it's one of only 10 in Essex. Now, out of the 10, 6 are military and 2 are women. This one is unique in that it's a priest. There are 2 others of priests that exist in England. One is in Clifford in Hertfordshire, and the other one is the Archbishop Peckham at Canterbury Cathedral. The Clifford effigy dates from 1280, and he was a clunatic monk of a nearby priory. Now, interestingly, the font here, which is at the far end there, this dates to the 1300 as well. Now, could it be that both the effigy and the font came from the nearby Little Leighs priory? It's possible. Now, the man himself laying before us, he was well built and he's 6 foot tall and he's fairly young. You can see that. And his head, it rests on a pillow. And he's supported by 2 figures, which you can see there. I'm just going to put on some more lights actually, maybe help the illumination. That might help. Not a great deal, but there's one figure there and one figure there. Now, one of this figure here has had its head sawn off because it's in oak. For what reason, we don't know. Now, the priest himself, he's wearing a cap. He's clean shaven. And his arms are folded. And his hands are in position of prayer. His robes reached down to his feet, and they would have been made in linen. You see that? And complete with a hood. Around his neck is a stole, which is then tied around to his waist. And his feet, he's got pointed shoes, which you can see just there and there. And they rest on a lamb and a lion. This is the lamb. And the lion. The lion has a mane. Now, in 1863, a Reverend Spurrell described the effigy as being covered in white paint, and it would have had red and blue colours in the creases of the garments. So in here, you can't really see that. Now, interestingly, the folds of the garments themselves, look at that, would show a man that would be standing, not lying down. The man beneath probably died around 1280, and he may well have been one of the canons of Little Leigh's Priory. It's only 1 3/4 miles away. Another possible candidate would be that of Henry de Boham, or Boreham. The Boreham family had a long association with Little Leigh's Priory from the 12th century. Now, Harvey, by 1276, was the Dean of St Paul's in London, and he died in 1276, and he was investigated by the Archbishop of Canterbury for pluralism. And I found out that pluralism is holding more than one office at the time, which Harvey was actually. Now, Harvey's parents were buried at Little Leigh's Priory, and this could well be the effigy that was brought over here for protection during the dissolution of monasteries, but we'll never know. The last interesting or intriguing theory connected to this effigy, during the medieval period, it's likely that it would have been brought out on display during Easter. Nearby Great Leighs Church has an empty north-facing tomb also, and it's dated around 1310. So this could be the location of the Easter sepulchre, where it would have spent 3 days every year, but we'll never know. But it's fascinating to speculate. If you look at the sides, it's what puzzles me is how it's so flat in its design. I'll take it this is a modern addition, but this is the actual solid oak carving. So yeah, we'll never know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much.